Hello and welcome back to Too Lazy to Read, where we read the uncomfortable things properly. This time, we're not reading a story. We're reading a mood. The title is The Trouble with Being Born. And yes, it's the sort of title that makes you either laugh or clutch your chest, or do that nervous little smile people do right before they admit they've been awake since 2 a.m., thinking about the heat death of the universe.
That is a very specific audience, Nigel.
It's a larger audience than anyone admits in public. Now, if you're expecting a beginning, middle, and end, bad luck. This book is made of fragments, short paragraphs, one-liners, small bites. It's like someone took a whole philosophy book, threw away the connective tissue, and kept only the parts that sting. And that format matters, because Cioran, our author, doesn't write the way someone writes when they're trying to convince a class. He writes the way someone writes when they're trying to survive their own mind. He wrote this originally in French, and the book first appeared in the early 1970s. The English translation dates back to the mid-1970s. And the edition information attached to the book also points to later reissues and rights renewals. In other words, this is not a new complaint. This is vintage despair, aged properly, like wine you shouldn't drink before driving.
So it's a classic?
Yes, a classic in the same way an existential crisis is a classic. And before we do anything else, I want to set expectations the right way. This is not a book telling you to hate life. It's not a book telling you to hate people. It's certainly not a book telling you to disrespect religion. Cioran is complicated. He swings between reverence and rage. He can sound like he's arguing with God, and then 2 pages later he sounds like he misses God. You don't have to agree with him to get value from him. Sometimes you read him to feel less alone in thoughts you'd never confess at dinner. Sometimes you read him like you read storms, for their shape, not for advice. Now, because this is an aphorism book, we need a slightly different way to deep dive. We can't say, in Chapter 7 the hero confronts the dragon. The dragon is in his head. It's time, it's birth, it's consciousness. It's the fact that he's awake when the rest of the world is asleep. The opening line is basically his whole method. He writes, 3 in the morning, I realize this second, then this one, then the next. I draw up the balance sheet for each minute. That's not a philosophy lecture. That's an insomnia diary.
It's like he's counting moments the way a panicked person counts money.
Exactly. And he adds the knife twist. Why is he doing it? Because he was born. So right away, you're in his main obsession. Not death, but birth. He treats birth as the first injury, the first imbalance, the beginning of the whole mess. Most of us walk around assuming being born is neutral, maybe even good. Cioran treats it like a cosmic administrative error. And the book is him reacting to that error with language. Now, who is he? He's a Romanian-born writer who spent most of his adult life in Paris. He's famous for insomnia, for skepticism, for a style that's half prayer and half complaint. He's also funny. Not stand-up comedy funny, more like, I am losing my mind, but I can still make a clean joke about it funny. And the humor matters because without humor, this book would be unbearable. With humor, it becomes oddly companionable.
Like he's miserable, but he brought snacks.
Yes, rotten snacks. But he brought them. Now, one more thing before we go deeper. If you're listening in a fragile place, if your mind is already doing the 3 a.m. thing and this book feels like matches near gasoline, take breaks. This is not a flex. It's not who can stare into the void the longest. You're a person, not a dare. All right, let's begin with the core claim and then follow how he builds around it. The trouble isn't that life contains suffering. The trouble is that life exists at all, and our mind is forced to notice it. The first thing Cioran does is make you feel the weight of since. He writes about the phrase, ever since I was born, and how that since sounds dreadful to him, because since I was born means I've been stuck in time. I've been trapped in a sequence. I've been dragged along by minutes like a dog on a leash. That might sound dramatic.